Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Tampa Bay Rays franchise. We are going to get into the draft today, but we will get into that later. Today, we start at 39-44, 11 and a half games back, and we are 2-8 in our last 10, which hurts. As a reminder, here is scouting as we had it set up in Week 12, and we will be moving it over into more region scouting for Week 13 as we near the very end of the scouting schedule and the draft as it comes up. I'm very excited for this. I have put in a lot of work, and I will be showing that work once we get closer. But for now, we'll look at the Eastern Region International for starting pitchers and catchers. Getting back into the actual game of baseball at 39-44, we are going to finish up this series versus Washington, and that is a win. Ryan Pepio will be out with shoulder inflammation for a week or two, so another injury. Add that one onto the pile, but Arozarena comes off the injured list, so a trade there. We do win in a shutout, a 6-0 victory, where we did have a lot of offense, 14 hits. Several of the guys going 3 hits on the day. That's awesome. A double by Hampson, a triple by Hampson, and then Yu Chang as well as Jose Siri and Harold Ramirez going yard. Awesome. Yu Chang also stole a base. Fantastic game by Jeffrey Springs for his 5th win on the year, and Phil Maton will close it out for him for a 1-2 punch. We will continue after a break and a day off, get some rest, and we will be going against Kansas City this time. A win in Game 1 comes with a 5-2 tag on it, and we did get some good offense again, 10 hits and 4 walks. Josh Lowe notably going 3 for 4 on the day with a walk as well. His average is up to 290. It's amazing. Stolen bases by Hampson, Lowe, and Paredes as well. Jose Siri had a home run, and pitching looked good across the board with Zach Littell picking up win number 6, Fairbanks with save number 19. This could be the start of something good as we've got a few victories strung together in a row as we seek to rout Kansas City at their home. Shane McClanahan gets the start in Game 2, and that is another victory, this time 5-1. 14 hits on the day and only 1 walk, but Garrett Hampson going 4 for 5. Look at that production. Garrett Hampson also had a home run. We had a couple doubles on the day, so 5 runs will definitely do it, and wow, McClanahan had a great game. 7 innings pitched with 1 earned run, only 5 hits. Phil Maton with 2 excellent innings of relief behind him. McClanahan improves to 4-6 on his record now. So the series is toast for us, and can we sweep Kansas City? Zach Eflin's going to get the start, but first the Orioles will acquire Rafael Devers from the Red Sox, and Heston Kjerstad, oh man, he's going to the Red Sox. What a shame that is. I like that guy. He's a good Orioles prospect. So anyways, we will continue, and we do indeed sweep Kansas City. It's 7-1, so something's happening here. I don't know. We got 11 hits and 4 walks. Not anybody really outstanding as far as the number of hits, but lots of doubles on the day. Look at all that. Arozarena, Hampson, Mejia, Palacios, and Lowe. Josh Lowe also stole 2 more bases. Zach Eflin goes 7 1/3 with no earned runs for his 9th win on the year. And Garrett Clevenger has some okay relief behind him. His ERA is still very low. With the additional stolen bases, I wanted to check on Josh Lowe, and he does indeed still lead, the American League with 29, and oh yeah, still way above National League at 23 there. So yeah, Josh Lowe still the undisputed stolen base king. We have now improved to 43-44 and evened up our last 10 record at 5-5 as we seek to slowly creep up on the Orioles and the Blue Jays. Next up in the series is the 3-game stretch versus Texas. They are 53-34, and we do take Game 1. We are on a verified streak now. 14 hits and 5 walks on the day. Arozarena 3 for 5. Palacios 3 for 4 with a walk as well. And 2 doubles for Yu Chang, a home run for Yandy Diaz. Taj Bradley has a good game, 5 innings pitched and 3 earned runs, and lots of strong relief behind him that chewed up 4 innings, and Fairbanks gets save number 20. So we've taken Game 1. Can we do Game 2? Jeffrey Springs is going to get the start versus Max Scherzer. And that is another victory. The offense is firing on all cylinders, and the pitchers are really showing their grit. We got 14 hits and 4 walks on the day. Garrett Hampson with 2 triples. This guy is just a megastar for us. It's incredible. He did have an error today, so maybe not a megastar, but a superstar nonetheless. Jeffrey Springs does get the win today to improve to 6-5. 6 good innings with 2 earned runs and only 4 hits. And we emptied the bucket today. Everybody came in for relief almost. 4 different relievers, including Jason Adam with his 2nd save on the year for the final out. The last week of scouting is going to be here right now. Eastern region, International, and Eastern is what we did last time, and we will be switching it. No, we won't. Just kidding. Still the same regions, but slightly different positions. But this will be the last scouting we get done before the actual draft. Cannot wait for that later in the episode. I cannot wait to get further into this franchise and see what these young guys can do that we have drafted. But first, let's deal with the problems at home. The injured player list is just, there's too many guys on here, number one, and then every time someone comes off, we seem to replace them with somebody else. So I wanted to take a quick look and go over this with you guys so you could see what we're dealing with. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I do believe 7 and 8 are below. There's 7. No, 7 is it. Logan Driscoll is the last one, but some serious injuries as well. I know that we're missing Jose Caballero a lot right now. Ahmed Rosario was a key contributor as well. Pepio was actually doing pretty good also. And there's just guys that I wish that we had, and that has allowed for some success stories from below. But, it's never fun dealing with all those injuries. What is fun is going 7-3 in our last 10 and catching up to the Orioles and Blue Jays.
We're going streaky! Yes!
Sorry about the naked wolf arrow there, but I just couldn't resist. It was fun. All right, so let's try to sweep Texas. Let's do this. Zach Littell gets to start in Game 3, and as soon as we celebrate the streak, it's over. We do have a possible reinstatement, but still some injury time there for Leverett. So we do take our first loss in a while, and we are now back to 500 baseball. We got 9 hits and 4 walks. Harold Ramirez going 3 for 5. That's awesome. He also had a triple that day. Brandon Lau with an error. That is rare. Zach Littell had a tough day, but Rasmussen had a great game of relief. Now, one thing I wanted to highlight before we do the draft is how the minor leaguers are doing. So I wanted to highlight some of these guys. Austin Shenton at third base with only D potential has shown some great improvement, particularly with contact versus lefties. His AAA stats, are pretty good at 252, 315, and 411. Curtis Mead is another guy, young at 23, only a 66 overall now, but with B potential, showing great progress, particularly in contact and also vision and discipline. His AAA stats look even better at 280, 359, and 429. That is some awesome production at AAA. Nico Holsizer is a C potential player. He's at 27 years old, so not much time left. It is a ticking clock, and he is not doing very well. So not sure what the future holds for Holsizer. Jonathan Aranda was a guy that we highlighted earlier in the series, getting great development across the board, and he is a B potential overall as well. He's been doing very well at 269, 327, and 373. Not a slugger, but consistent performer. Carson Williams is one of the guys that I'm most excited to see develop. He does show regression versus lefties. He's having trouble there, but at 20 years old, 68 overall and A potential, he's got plenty of time to figure it out, and he does look to have had a consistent AAA year so far. Junior Caminero is another shortstop prospect I'm very excited for. 20 years old, a 70 overall, also struggling against lefties. There's a theme here, I guess. His stats so far on the year are not quite as promising, but at 20 years old, he's got plenty of time to develop. Brock Jones is another guy, and he could be coming up sooner than later. He is a 23-year-old, 67 overall, but look at those numbers. I know it's only 31 at-bats, but a 387, 441, and 516, how do you say no? Roberto Hernandez in left field is also getting very good development, particularly against contact left. So finally somebody can hit lefties. Thank you. He is batting .263 with a .355 OBP and .388 slugging. That's pretty good to see. Oslevis Basabe is 23 years old, and he's also getting pretty good development, but I'd like to see these numbers come up more before we talk about any potential coming up. He is batting .258 right now and has been pretty consistent so far. Dustin May, if you remember, was a recent trade acquirement that we had, and he is only 26 and 80 overall, who struggled in the major leagues but is doing very well in the minor leagues. So we'll see what the future holds for Dustin May. Jake Odorizzi is 34 years old in AAA and regressing, so probably not here for a very long time, although he is performing now very well. Shane Baz is a young starting pitcher with B potential who is showing good attribute increases, performing very well with a 2.64 ERA and only a 1.20 whip. That is great. Tyler Alexander is another one who is older. He's 29, a 69 overall, and a C potential that actually did see some improvement. He's also having a fantastic year in AAA with a 2.33 ERA and a 1.33 whip. He did not do very well in the major leagues at all, but maybe with development time he will. After the break and the loss versus Texas in Game 3, we move on to New York, and we lose the first game. It is a 5-12 loss. We only got 6 hits and 0 walks. Yandy went yard, and we had a couple doubles, but nothing else to speak of offensively. Shane McClanahan will take his 7th loss of the year after only going 2 2/3 and giving up 5, but relief was strong and another great showing from Rasmussen. Game 2 is Zach Eflin versus Carlos Rodon, and Eflin looking for his 10th victory, and he does not have it. Colin Poche will steal it from him. I'm just happy to win, guys. We got 9 hits and 3 walks. Nobody really of note as far as the numbers there. Siri went 2 for 4, and that's the most out of anybody. And Garrett Hampson with a double, a Rosarena with a home run. Eflin pitches a good game. 5 innings, 2 earned runs, relief strong behind him. We are now bouncing back and forth between 500 baseball. We're 46 and 46. Can we take the series versus Ian Hamilton? No, it is a 2-7 loss. This time we've got 10 hits and 4 walks, so a better offensive day, but not able to bring them in the situations. Garrett Hampson with a double is notable there. A Rosarena going 2 for 2 with 2 walks means he had a perfect day. He also stole 2 bases. 2's everywhere. Taj picks up loss number 6. Relief was good from Rasmussen for 3 innings. He's been amazing lately, but Phil Maton gave up 2 more. The game was already lost at that point anyways. Cleveland will be the next ones we host, and Jeffrey Springs will not win the game. We get shut out 2-0 at home versus Cleveland. That's unfortunate. We only got 3 hits. Wow. That is a sad day at the plate, boys. Only 1 walk to show for it as well. A stolen base by Josh Lowe, so cheers for him, but Jeffrey Springs takes his 6th loss on the year despite a very strong game. Clevenger gives up a run, and now it's time for the draft. So let's get into some positive news. I cannot wait to show you guys what we've been working on and what's going on for the draft. I have arranged all of my guys here in order of what I would prefer and ranked them in that manner. Now, I do want to highlight how I've looked at these guys and how I've kept track of it. So I'm going to put a picture of my spreadsheet on right now. This is what I have been working with through the different weeks, through the different rounds, what positional needs we need, and how the guys have looked with their potentials and their overalls. It's a lot of information, but I've been very excited to go over it. So with weeks of real-life work out of the way now, with months of in-game baseball done, it is time to actually do the damn thing. The draft is here. Round 1 will see Cleveland make their first pick, and it is going to be Derek Weiss, a starting pitcher who is ranked officially number 6 on the MLB board. Best of luck to him, except when you're facing us. Pick number 2 in the draft, we'll see the Reds draft Daniel Guzman, a starting pitcher ranked number 2 on the big board. For the 3rd pick of the draft this year, it is going to be the Rockies picking Vince Carvajal, another starting pitcher. You can see the trend. He's ranked number 5. We'll skip ahead just a little bit, and I want to show that I've got Chris Arrington, Jose Matos, Archer Wilkes, Alexi Mesa, Alan Waylock, and Zeke Machado as my top 6 picks. We do pick at number 18, so there is a chance that these guys will go. Archer Wilkes has just went. which moves up Machado to number 5 for St. Louis. So they took him from under our nose there. The Angels pick Ryan Albus, another starting pitcher. So far, everybody except for Bert Clark to Kansas City has been a starting pitcher. And there goes Chris Arrington, our number 1 prospect that we had on the board, has been picked by Pittsburgh. He was ranked 16 on the big board, and with us picking at 18, I thought there was a very good chance that we would get him. He was our team number 1 ranked pick, so that is unfortunate. But Jose Matos will get the nod next as long as he's still there. His draft rank is actually 1 back at number 17. Steve Aguila was another guy that I was looking at. R.D. Reese, I think, was later on the list as well, but there goes Jose Matos to the Chicago Cubs. 17 is not safe either, you guys, so Seattle's going to pick again, and it becomes Alexi Mesa as our next number 1 pick, and the Milwaukee Brewers just took him. Unbelievable. They're cutting my legs out from under me. So this is why we have alternates and why it's so important to scout more than one guy, not put your eggs in one basket. Alan Waylock at first base looks incredible everywhere except for speed. He's not going to do much on the 40-yard dash, but his contact, power, vision, discipline, fielding, strength, all of it looks incredible. Alan Waylock is an absolutely solid first-round pick, and he will be joining us at the Tampa Bay Rays. His potential is 75 to 88, so expect a B potential with a very high starting overall. Johnny Lester is going to be the next guy that I'm looking at for our pick. For second round, we pick at number 57. Lester is ranked 44. Now, he looks solid all around with B potential and a 64 to 70 overall rating. That sounds really good for me as a starting point for this kid, and I'm going to pick him. We do get another second-round pick at 65, and Rodney Summers is who I'm looking at. Fantastic contact, especially against lefties. Extreme vision and discipline, and decent fielding all around. Rodney Summers is my guy at catcher. For round 3, we will be looking at Paul Wimberly, a starting pitcher with most likely C potential, but a high overall to start with as well. I am banking on performance from Wimberly. That's what I hope to see. Round 4 is going to see Mark Lavelle, a starting pitcher from Indiana with most likely a B potential and a decent overall to start. He looks pretty good everywhere, and as we get further into the rounds, this is the type of stuff that I'm looking for. Round 5, we're getting late. It's going to be Bertram Dunning, a starting pitcher out of California who looks very good everywhere except for home runs and maybe pitch control. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how he works out, though. So Bertram Dunning is definitely going to be joining us next year, and I'm hoping to get a really good performance out of him in his first year in the minor leagues. Round 6, the final round, is going to be Peter Ware at third base. He looks very good for contact, and I think that this is a solid enough pick at round 6 that we should be all right with him, even if it doesn't work out. His numbers, as it went a little quick, good contact, good vision and discipline, very good speed and stealing, and decent defense. So I don't think that we're really taking that much of a risk for round 6 with Peter Ware, but he's not really exciting on any earlier rounds. So we'll have to see how he performs as well. Obviously, everything is going to come down to performance, but that is going to be our draft class. I was excited to get here to this moment, and I'm even more excited to see what next year holds for these young guys and what impact they can make in the Tampa Bay Rays franchise. Hope you guys are still here to join me when that happens. So that is going to conclude the draft, and we'll get back to baseball. We've split the series with Cleveland at home here, and Shane McClanahan gets the start in Game 3. See if we can pull the victory out and save the series. But first, it's another injury update. A torn labrum for Cameron Meisner, over 6 months out of commission. Unbelievable. If I had $1 for every time that we got an injury, I could pay for a new team. So we lose a close game, 6-5. We had plenty of offense. Randy Arozarena going 3 for 5, notably. We had some home runs. Johnny DeLuca and Yu Chang. Good for them. Harold Ramirez also had a home run, not to be left out. Yu Chang did have an error. Rosarena and Siri had stolen bases. Pitching was pretty strong except for Clevenger. He didn't even get an out, and he let in 2 earned runs off of 3 hits, so that hurts. Ouch. I want to get in here and see what the all-star list looked like, and there's a name we recognized, Yandy Diaz. He will, in fact, be the only all-star from the Tampa Bay Rays. At first base, he is currently batting .323 with 12 home runs and 47 RBIs. He's having a hell of a year. Very happy to see his all-star status. But what's this? A Blue Jays trade offer coming out of left field, pun intended with the baseball pun. Pete Fairbanks is who they're targeting, and they want to give us a few prospects, it looks like. This is interesting because Fairbanks has not been performing at his best, so I won't say that he's untouchable for a trade. He is an 88 overall at 30 years old in his first year of contract. He's got 2 more left after this. But I don't think this trade is going to work for us. I don't need prospects right now because we've got Johnny Lester. He decided to sign with us. Mark Lovell has also signed with us as well. It's going to come rapid fire now. Paul Wimberly has also decided to sign with us. Fantastic news so far. That's 3 of them. And number 4 will be Bertram Dunning. So we get 4 of these guys at the very first pass through of signing draft picks. That's awesome to see. The 3 that are left are Waylock, Summers, and Ware. So we will get extended scouting and interest levels for them shortly. So we take a series loss to Cleveland. We break for the All-Star. And then we have some rest time. Everybody is recuperated. Let's start the series versus New York again. And that's a victory. 6-2 in Game 1. We get 8 hits and 5 walks. Richie Palacios going 3 for 4. That's awesome. Jose Siri with 3 for 3 on the day and a walk. A perfect game for him and a home run to boot. Richie Palacios had 2 doubles. That's awesome. Stolen bases by some of the major guys that we expect, I guess. Eflin with a great game. Clevenger and Fairbanks behind him do well as well. And then Rodney Summers does decide to sign with the Rays. That's another one down. After the victory in Game 2, it will be Taj Bradley versus Ian Hamilton. I think that's a rematch, but I'd have to double check. Either way, that is a victory 2-1, a low-scoring affair, a pitcher's duel. We bring in 6 hits off of 2 walks as well. A home run from Mejia, 2 doubles from Garrett Hampson. This guy cannot be stopped. Randy Rosarena also has a double. Yandy steals 2 bases. That's strange. Taj has a great game and will pick up the victory for it. And 4 relievers down gets us the final tally. Fairbanks with save number 22, and his ERA is down to 4. It is a 4-game series, though, so we're going to need to win more than 2 if we want to take it. Jeffrey Springs versus Garrett Cole is going to see the Game 3 matchup. And it is a shutout. 3-0. We get 6 hits and 1 walk. Home runs from Paredes and Siri, and Brandon Lau with a double. That is pretty cool. Almost everybody got hits today. A couple offers, but we can survive that when we don't give up any. Jeffrey Springs goes 8 innings with only 4 hits, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Lots of contact there, and Fairbanks gets save number 23. He drops his ERA down to 3.89 as well. That's awesome. I do want to take a look at Kevin Kelly. He has been a relief pitcher that we've been celebrating so far. He's got 48 innings pitched and only 2.25 for his ERA. He has been stunning. And we're going to talk contract extension for him. I want to see what we can get, or what he would like, rather. He is 26 years old, coming off of this fantastic year. I think that we can probably bank him into the late 20s. So let's try a 3-year contract, and how low can we go? He's looking for 1.8 a year. I think we can get him for a little bit less. Let's try 1.6 a year, so a $4.9 million contract for 3. How does that sound to Kelly? It's good. He will sign it. Another guy, you know that we got to look at Garrett Hampson. He came in after the Caballero injury. We needed somebody competent at shortstop, and he has been nothing if not incredible. Averaging .302 right now with a near .500 slugging. He's almost certainly going to have a career year for home runs as well. So I really, really love what Garrett Hampson has done for us. I'm not sure where we place him altogether once Caballero comes back, but that is a problem for future me. As of right now, Hampson has been incredible and deserves all of his flowers, and that will include money flowers. We're going to try a 2-year contract for $8 million. and see if Hampson likes the sound of that as much as we do. He does. He signed it. Another contract extension at this moment we're looking for is Ahmed Rosario. He's currently got a broken arm, but due to come off the IL in 1 to 2 weeks. He's 28 years old and still improving and looks to be having one of his best years when he does come back. So I'd like to see what more we can get out of Rosario. He was impactful in the times that we had him. He had some good moments during quick manage games from what I remember. So with A potential, I know there's definitely room to grow. I'd like to sign him, I think, for 3 years. Let's try a $3.6 million AAV, or average annual value, and see if Rosario likes Tampa as much as we like him. He sure does. He'll sign it. Another one that I want to take a look at is Francisco Mejia. He's not having the best average year, but he has come up big in clutch moments, and if his trajectory holds, he will have a career year for RBIs and home runs as well. I think Mejia is overperforming, so I don't want to go too long, but I do like what he's been able to do for us at catcher, and so I'm going to offer 2 years at a $6.3 million salary and see if he likes the sound of that as well. I'd like to lock in these guys for a decent amount of future time, and Francisco Mejia will accept that offer. That's going to do it for this episode, and we'll conclude the draft, and we will move on to the end of this first season. We end it right now at 50-49, 7 games behind the Blue Jays, 2.5 behind the Orioles, or rather, they're 2.5 behind. Anyways, we're still trying to catch up. It's been thrilling so far. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I will catch you next episode.